Wassail, beautiful people. So we're doing Sagittarius. And immediately that I drew Sagittarius from the deck after doing the last reading, Capricorn, there was this really strong message coming through, which was compose yourself. And I just let that sit. It's about stretching out your senses, kind of like practice. Something in this area. I mean, it is the orchestral repair shop, but it's also the storybook writer. It's almost like having time out to prepare. This morning, there's a real energy of expanding your talents, your gifts, but also this real sense of Sagittarius. It's been a long time really since you had a lot of planetary work going on, and so there's partly this energy because you've got Persephone, and in fact I'll read you who you have asteroidally. So you've got Persephone at 8 degrees, Calliope at 19 degrees, Talent at 0 degrees, Sirene or Siren 4 degrees, Prometheus at 2 degrees, Ate at 20 degrees, and Icarus at 10 degrees. It's something to do with choosing your own path. But with Persephone, there is that sense of being held captive. But to heal, there's something going on within the energy of this house, which is really about preparation, the orchestral repair shop. And what are you repairing? It feels as though you're repairing the ability for your heart to sing. Bravery inspired through love. Quantum souls. This is big energy that's preparing for something to do with unblocking these thermal rivers. And Serration, which is the alchemical magnum opus for this sign, is about softening blockages, mollifying something. So you have I am fearful or I am courageous. And on Moon in Sagittarius, we have I'm unskilled or I'm qualified. This has been coming up a lot throughout this preparation for the Lion's Gateway energy that's entering. There's something here where your emotions are almost stacked higher than your ability to deal with the thoughts that are composed or the scaffolding. It's almost like your thoughts are the scaffolding or a kaplunk, and you need to pull out. You need to get the emotions to come down. There's something about the emotions stirring externally, outside of your force. That 936 is telling me this is about divine internal preparation, scene-changing optimism, and tameless expansion. But I really did want to say then timeless expansion. There feels like a sense of boredom or frustration within this frequency. So let's have a look at the testing, the energies that are testing you. Ill-tempered, so that energy where you're just feeling a little bit pushed and tetchy, and wanting to just leave a particularly tough situation because there's a frustration in it. I think you've possibly been shedding friends as well in this process, and that's also making you uncomfortable. But what's growing within you is emotional intelligence. Oh, you see the scaffolding, the thoughts holding up the emotions. And you're learning and improving just at this moment. is like being at a spiritual university. That's really what I'm getting. So I'm going to put these two cards back into the deck, and then we're going to shuffle them, and we're going to look at what is your shamanic currency. I want to just, asteroids, I need to go back to those. There's a sense with Persephone of being captive at the moment, or being confined, being held back in some way. But you're seeking a review of your natural gifts. There are talents, amazing things that you have that you're taking for granted. You're not appreciating the wondrous abilities in you. There's a slightly edgy, rebellious frequency coming up, a kind of I'm not listening because I need to move. There's this real sense of wanting to break out of something. There's an energy of the Fool card, but don't break out if it's your ego pushing you. It needs to be your spirit and your knowledge and your emotional intelligence that becomes the key to the door. So let me just push that back to follow the 4 patterns. So shamanic currency first. You can't see it. Oh. Let's move that, it'll tip backwards. Cancer. To go back to the Cancer reading, you really need to observe that this is about a new emotional landscape. Ancestral dwellings. Breaking free of family patterns, things that are programmed into you. But it has to be intelligent emotions from now on. There are old emotions still currently haunting your cells. I want to say you're still tuning in, or you're still attracting this old ancestral energy. And you're feeling like you could be bruised quite easily, emotionally bruised. Sorry, my brain is just thinking it really wants another card on this one. That's not quite enough. So the shamanic currency, it's all right to say it's there in Cancer, but there's something like feeling that House Sagittarius has offered nothing for so long, and yet what it has been offering is this huge spiritual growth. So what else is there? Vesta. The inextinguishable flame. Background pink noise. It's like you've been standing on the threshold. You've been in the orchestral repair shop. You know, things have been changing and you're ready to leave, but somehow there's something holding you in that shop, which is, you know, you're not quite fully free. You see, I'm not fully free. 3. I was just looking down here at the 443. 444 is a Jupiter energy, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. You're just a tiny piece away from this shift, from this move. The galactic empath. There's something here about just take your time, preserve your energy, because there's some kind of huge spiritual pursuits on their way towards you. And a distrust at the moment of love. So there is a sense of having, in the energy of this house, look at what you have in your natal charts, because they're kind of showing you a frequency that has somehow patterned something so that you don't actually trust in the love. So what is actually on the cosmic balance sheet? What is on the cosmic balance sheet in Sagittarius? What's sitting there waiting? So I'm getting a really itchy third eye at the moment. Oh. What's on the balance sheet? I said earlier, compose yourselves. It's here. Reprogramming, studying techniques, studying emotions, studying your reaction to emotions. How do you feel, truly feel, when you experience an emotion? There's something about that emotions that can bruise you. Why? Why do you continually let that energy feel uncomfortable? Here we have this totem energy, and then it's like drawing into the sacred geometry of another space, another place. Yet searching for new meaning, journeying into higher realms to transform. That's got that Jupiter tin energy of the higher realms. I'm going to get another card on that. So now I'm getting a tingling down the back of my neck. That's very interesting. Hygeia. You see, this always talks about bacteria. There's something going on in your body that is transforming your biome awareness. Oh, now I've got to itch that. It's really tingling. So there's a sense of movement. Here would be the nervous system in sound healing and the throat. It feels as though in this pause, which is deeply spiritual, there's a physical, spiritual mapping taking place within your body. Totem medicines, wellness through diet, astrally neutralized ancient biome traumas. So I want to say there's an energy here where you're being challenged by this microbiota mapping that's taking place, this new cartography. It's a bit like Antarctica. We know there's a continent underneath, but we're only really aware of the shape of the sea ice, which often looks a little bit like a brain with a stem at the bottom. And beneath that surface is something much more ancient that's not been seen for a long time, and it feels like there's a mapping going on, but it's the eye of a sickness storm. It's like you're being challenged in this frequency, whatever you have in Sagittarius, being challenged to move past the discomforts that are arising within different parts of the body. They're all good. They're all purposeful. I mean, we have F of the lower heart, so it really is dealing with physical cells. D of the sacral, that's what needs to be uncovered somehow, your sacral. Because it's ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the energy wings. It's a great cleanser, but there's something about as you're going through this cleansing, a sickness storm is kind of swirling around you, and you have to remain centered and calm in the middle of this. So whatever aches, whatever hurts, you know, if it's really problematic, go and see someone about it. But otherwise, try and see the benefit of the transformation as you release The dense core is what I'm hearing. So this is deposits. What do you need to deposit? Fire. What do you need to excitable? You need, that's interesting. How do you break out of this? By remembering joy, remembering passion, remembering being excited, remembering burning desires. It's almost like the fire's the inextinguishable flame. It's meant to be inextinguishable, but somehow it's become doused. So what else? You see, look, it's all going back to Cancer. Fire, going back to Moon in Cancer. Orchestra in residence. You can't have an orchestra in residence when the whole orchestra is in a repair shop. Phallus, law of unintended consequences. Rot, which is decomposing old patterns. The dance macabre. And then you've got Aqua Regia, poi poi. Polyphony to unison. This is an energy of feeling fairly fractured, energetically, emotionally, philosophically, empathically, almost like you had a jigsaw puzzle of yourself and you're taking away all the pieces of the jigsaw, and then you're being given a new jigsaw of yourself to start building with. Let me just look at these 5 cards together. You see, I feel like this water, this cardinal water, has almost dulled your passion in this frequency, in this house at the moment. But the energy is saying push the fire back into the water and excite the water to become steam. It's very much the idea of vaporize to spiritualize. There's a higher octave of thought. There's a higher octave of passion. That Jupiter tin realm, higher astral areas, discovering truth, dimension resolving. So we have I am dazzling, nourished, aware, and energized. It's this frequency where you've got to pick up the vibration of sacred emotional sense of excitement, playfulness, joy. It's that frequency that's coming through, and that will bring you to the dragon of creation. This is the blood coursing through you again. That's what you're trying here to connect with. So what do you need to deposit? Joy, passion, excitement. You need to give those to both you and the world around you. You need to make some kind of connection between your inner and outer existence through your auric field. C and G are important to this. So what are the galactic dividends waiting to be paid towards you from Sagittarius? It's on the floor, it's a done deal, but we also have Ophiuchus and Gemini. A moon in Gemini. This is about celebrating yourself. But Ophiuchus is within you, because most of what we consider the Ophiuchus sign takes place within Sagittarius. So within you is the passion to rewrite yourself, to be reborn, to become the... It's almost like you've walked into the Janus Geminis, the sense of the tunnel that happens between eclipses, and as you walk through, you're shedding, and as you exit the door, it's a whole new you being brought into empowerment. It's amazing. There's a lot more laughter, feeling like you both nurture and are nurtured, that you have a new atomic blueprint, you have a new holographic musical score. So it's almost like you are composing your new symphony. You are writing your new story here. Immutable fire, passion. The nervous system. There's a new tune here. The nervous system again on both Ophiuchus and Phallus. The lower heart is really important. Wiring yourself into the world around you. So there's some kind of an internal distrust of the world around you that needs to be reprogrammed. This is really, I would go and look at the Gemini reading. Oh, that's all about, wasn't that one the one about mirror souls? You have to decide to celebrate you for who you really are. Again, going back to that notion of inherent gifts that you kind of take for granted. That's really the dividend here, is that when you recognize your divine value, that will pay you your galactic dividends. That's the resurrecting energy. Again, the negative side of this talks about a sense of being a little bit hot-headed at the moment and needing to just keep a lid on that frequency, to keep that very calm. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the deposit, but the result, it's like being your own twin, coming out as the new you. That's what's singing here. Almost a thread of a new divine consciousness, mystical resurrection. Being gentle and loving. And there's a presence of a new understanding of hidden esoteric remembrances. And that seems to be linking back into Vesta. Forever in power. Magnesium, eternal. You see, and I'm being drawn on rot to moral burials. You've got to kind of, this is a moment of, as I said, being in university, being in this frequency where you have to face moral challenges and decide what no longer serves you, and you need to bury those morals in the old you so that you can embody a new you. See, it says acting in alignment with my higher purpose. And higher purpose is really understanding what makes you divinely excited, divinely passionate, divinely happy. And it shouldn't be in this kind of higher morality that we place on things. It has to be what genuinely sparks your heart, because you're trying to establish remembering being the bard hero of the heart, the singer of love, because your heart is happy, being shown those two, 1331 or 3113, sorry, I'm looking at them the other way there. Inner rhythmic currents, clearing noxious emotions. Yeah, you need to go back and look at both Cancer and Gemini. They're really quite important because, as I say, you've got Sun and Moon in both of these. I mean, you need to look at all of them. But what I'm saying is they're particularly connected to this house and how the different houses work together. I'm drawing a symbol or a glyph of the pathway that we're going on as we go across the circle, and I will show you that at the end in the correct order. So yeah, there's something coming in here to soothe your nervous system, which will allow you to speak more truthfully from your heart. That's the general energy at the end, entering into this new frequency, this new cellular vessel, and being much more expressive, emotionally expressive, but intelligently expressive, and not being triggered by anything. You see, Follis is kind of going as an energy like, do you understand the difference, finally, between unintended consequences and intended consequences when you write the story and you create the frequencies that you wish to see around you that make your heart sing intellectually and emotionally joyful. So that's your reading for Sagittarius. So we've only got 2 left, I think. Let me just check. I think we've got Libra and Leo. Yeah, I wonder which one's next. Kind of feel like I want Leo to be last, but I have to let the cards decide. So anyway, Wassail, beautiful people.